we're going to do a segment
every episode.
I hope it's every episode.
Yeah.
I hope we get to do it. Called Pick My Brain. And we are asked every single day, week. I mean, phone calls, emails. Can I pick your brain for a second? Can I pick your brain for a second?
And I really do want to help everybody.
But you know what? It's truly
We don't have
exhausting.
time. We don't have time.
Like if I answered every single Pick My Brain question, I would literally spend every day 7 hours a day just answering.
Questions.
Yeah, exactly.
So we decided to pick some and do it on this show each time. So if you do have a question, we do want you to submit them, but we just can't every single day have our brains picked.
So you can email us or you can message us.
No, I don't want any more emails.
You don't want any more emails?
No, comment below.
Comment below.
I don't like email.
Comment below on about questions you want us to answer, and we'll try to integrate them into the Pick My Brain segment.
That's right. So the first question that someone named Lauren asked you, Jay, is what percentage of our gross, and that's assuming that you're making money, should we spend on advertising, and what are the best methods these days?
So
these days meaning like 2018.
Whatever's relevant right now. Let's just keep it at that, right? So it depends on who you are. And if you're a hobbyist doing this for a hobby and you're not really caring about if it's feeding your family or making money, it really can be very fluid about how you get your customers. A lot of times when it's that case, you are going to get your customers through word of mouth. All right. But if
Best source.
Which is a great source, whether you're professional or a hobbyist.
Right.
But for the most part, in this scenario, I think that's relevant with that issue if you're a hobbyist. But if you are a full-fledged business and you have a marketing budget, for example, when you first start, you don't really know what to budget for marketing because marketing is made up of a lot of different things. It could be print, it could be bridal shows, it could be web presence, it could be search engine optimization.
But don't do it if you can't track it.
Well, that's a very good point. So the way you set that original gross percentage is you need to have some historical data before you could decide what percentage of your gross. If you don't know first of all, you got to know what your gross is. That's the first thing. So you got to have software in order to track your sales. And sales means gross before expenses, all right? Net is your net after expenses. So you take gross, subtract the net, that's your net. What you're going to do is you're going to reach, and a lot of people very early on are going to just shoot at what and hope something sticks. And really what I can say to you for sure and pretty confidently is don't do print. In this day and time, it's all digital. I would invest maybe in Facebook ads. I would invest in maybe if there's it's their Instagram campaign. Do things where you can track analytics and where you can literally track to see where your dollars that you are spending, no matter how much they are, even if there's $10. If you've only spent $10 on advertising and you got a full-fledged return on that, then you know that whatever you did is working. So in order to answer the question directly, in order to determine a percentage of your gross should be spent on advertising, you've got to have historical data in order that you track over a period of time. And I would say a year is a good example. And really probably 2 years to 3 years, because what you do the first and second year is going to be very different.
And it's going to change.
It's going to change. And you just need to pay attention to, though, by tracking as to ask your customers, where did you hear about me? How did you come to reach out to me? Track that information, because that's going to give you a lot of insight as to where to spend your marketing dollars and your advertising dollars, okay? So I would say track data, record data, and make decisions based on that. And that's
make sure that there's always a return on the investment. And I'll tell you that things just don't happen in a week or two sometimes.
No.
Like, it really does take some consistency. So I would say you need to have a level of commitment for at least 3 months. Give yourself a quarter of tracking that.
At least.
At least.
I mean, at least. And can I'm going to throw this little tidbit in here. I've had this question recently, and I'm going to throw this in here because I think it's relevant right now, is just because somebody reaches out to you and says, oh, I'm having this huge event and there's going to be a lot of very famous people there, and we would like for you to provide your product or your service at my event, and you're going to get a lot of leads back from it. Let me just tell you from personal experience, that doesn't work. Those people, we've provided cookies, cakes, cupcakes, all these different dessert samples and all this stuff. And literally those people aren't there to determine who they're going to use for the next event as far as cake goes. Like, so every opportunity that people present to you is not necessarily an opportunity. The ones that you're going to win from are the ones that you're going to come up with based on your own data and your own knowledge, where you can make a really conscious, good business decision as to whether or not it's a good decision to spend money on those and use those dollars for that event. I'm telling you right now, if it feels like a good opportunity, unless you come up with it, it's probably not a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Really and truly, they're trying to feed their guests at their
free
event.
Stuff.
They're trying to feed their guests at their event for free. And they're riding on the back of you to do that. And I'm telling you, I get asked that probably more than anything.
Yeah. Should I do it? Should I not?
Should I do it? And recently, I had a girl who had a company that was creating this booklet that had all the hotels in Atlanta. And she was going to be a preferred vendor because they were going to list her as a preferred vendor for all these hotels. So I told her, I said, if I were you, I would do a little research. I'd reach out to the hotels that's participating in this book, and I would ask them if they've heard about it. Guess what? They've never even heard of this damn publication.
It was a third-party company.
It was a third-party company that was trying to make money off of somebody completely innocent. And she reached back out to me and she said, "Oh my God, you are right. Thank you so much because you saved me a ton of money." So, and I think the moral of the story is every opportunity is not necessarily an opportunity, and there's no hard and steadfast amount of money. Everybody's scenario is completely different. Mm-hmm. Angela is going to spend different money, a different share of the spend for your budget for marketing and advertising than I'm going to spend for Frosted Affair. Mm-hmm. It's going to be different.
You have to do what works for you.
Yes.
You don't worry about what everybody else is doing, and that's something that I've recently learned over the past few years. You have to do what works for you. So a question that I've gotten recently is, should I outsource to a digital agency to provide content and post on social media? And so I have mixed feelings about this because the number one key is content and consistency. So you've got to be consistent. Otherwise, during busy season, it looks like your business is dead and you have fallen off the face of the earth. And the general public does not know that. And so if you have a budget to outsource it, great, but be careful who you're outsourcing to and what type of content that you're putting your name on.
Remember, it's your brand.
It's your brand. So typically because I don't like to write stories, I'm not a good writer, I go off on way too many tangents, I lose people, I don't talk their language. So a lot of times I create a ton of content, but I'll do videos, I record my voice, I send it to writers, and they make it sound much better on a fifth grade level that people can actually follow. And so just because you're not writing the content and posting it on Facebook doesn't mean that
it doesn't represent who you are.
Right. And I do make sure that every single article is read not only by me, but 2 people on my team, because we have 3 eyes look at it, because 3 strikes are out, to make sure, A, it sounds like me, B, that they're on point, because sometimes writers leave really important things out, and you need to know that point in order for it to make sense.
And it needs to represent you as a brand.
Absolutely.
Because every single person that I know this because I have insight to her, but every single person that's reading her content, it represents her brand. Yeah. And it's and your branding is and that's a whole different segment, but your branding will come with time.
I'm all about outsourcing.
But you know what? This is a good point. Social media is free for the most part, and you have control of the content. Mm-hmm. You have control of the consistency of the content. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You also have control over the how many times you use the content repetitively, because think about this.
Rinse, wash, repeat.
Right. And think about this. People pay huge amounts of money on TV spots to show up in relevant space to get their name saturated in the marketplace. But with social media, which the majority of our market is on, and whether it's you're an entrepreneur that we are mentoring, or whether you're a customer that's considering us, they're on social media.
Yeah,
and it's free. And I mean, you can pay for Facebook ads, for example, but why? I mean, if it's working for you, we get tons of followers, and that's what this platform's all about.
Share.
Share. And we want you to share it like every time you get a chance, more than once even.
So it doesn't mean that you have to have a digital agency. To start simple and start small, just remember, be consistent. Make sure it goes along with your brand.
Continuity.
If you're brand new and you're doing weddings for $3,000, hey, I've been there many years ago, but you can post other things that inspire you as long as you give people credit. Like, we have interns that help me be consistent, and they have so many questions, and they help me stay relevant on social media. And so oftentimes I'll outsource to get them to help me and make sure that it's happening on time, and they give me deadlines, because at the end of the day...
Maintain control, though.
Yes, maintain control. But at the end of the day, when you and I started our company, social media didn't exist.
It did not.
And this is not why I do what I do.
No.
I do what I do to put shit on social media.
But it's just a platform.
I do it to serve clients.
It is. And it's a platform where it's valid and it's relevant right now. And you know what? In a year from now, we may have a whole other platform where we're able. Right now, we have a great show that we can share with the world through this platform.
Which I'm so thankful.
Me too. And all I can say is just wait, because we have an amazing team that have a lot of great ideas, and we're willing to share and answer anything we can and be as honest, transparent, and genuine as we possibly can.
The Three Stooges.
Right. It's gonna evolve. Be patient with us. It's gonna evolve, and it's gonna get better every single time.
Feedback.
Yeah, please, because we want this show to involve you.
We're an open book. We can take it.
I can take it.
We've taken a lot.
I can dish it out too.
SHIT.
I can dish it out too. So just if you're willing to throw it, I'm willing to throw it back.